Okay, calm down and let me investigate.
Investigate. You think you can just investigate and solve everything. No, it's not that simple.
Every character in this game I'm about to play has no scripted dialogue. They are all powered by AI. Their reactions, their motivations, their characterizations, their interactions with me, all of it, on the fly, powered by AI. Is this the future of game development? Let's check it out. Okay, so basically this is called Inworld Origins, and it's a showcase really. It's a demo to showcase NPCs powered entirely by artificial intelligence. The story is loosely based on Metropolis from 2001, so that's an anime from 2001, where sort of humans and robots have a sort of live in, not in harmony, but live in the world together in a kind of shaky harmony, put it that way. And you play the part of a lead detective. Now, the ensemble of NPCs that I have to interrogate here all have their own motivations and knowledge to the story, okay? They only ever contain one piece of information that might be useful. They have an understanding of the world, but they don't know the whole story. And there are no dialogue trees, so my interaction with them and what they say to me is entirely driven by AI, and I'll be talking to the characters and getting a response. It's the first time you have an ensemble of characters, of NPC characters, that are orchestrated by AI in this way. There are 20 machine learning models feeding into the characters to give them facial animation, bodily animation, all in real time to kind of, portray their behaviors. They each have their own personality and motivations, and then they respond accordingly to the way I question them. So if I'm too aggressive and they've got an aggressive personality, they might get back at me, you know what I mean, right in my grill. Each character, all they basically have is their character traits, basic facts and knowledge, and their motivations. And then the AI drives the rest. They have, as I say, they have knowledge of the city, but each character only has knowledge specific to what they witnessed in this crime that I'm going to be investigating. They only have one piece of the puzzle, and it's up to me as the player to interrogate them and put all the pieces together. AI basically powers their conversation, but also what they're thinking, how they express it in terms of non-verbal communications. That's really important. So you'll see some of them might get aggressive. They might not like the way that I'm interrogating them, etc. And then they've used motion capture to create a whole library of animations that they can draw on to kind of express a variety of emotions. So that, stand up aggressively, sit down, all that kind of stuff. And then it uses Unreal's MetaHuman for the kind of face animations to create those subtle expressions. So emotional responses drive the character animations. This could revolutionize game development for story-driven games. And, it's quite easy to integrate the tools that Inworld Origins have created and plug them into Unreal Engine. So this is going to be a really useful tool for game developers, big and small. As I said, it's a case study for the developers, and it basically shows the AI characters can be a feature of any game. So why don't we just get on and play it? Okay. Test my microphone. Hello? Yeah, testing the microphone. Good. So I'm going to be talking to the characters via the microphone. That's going to be the exciting thing here. Please use headphones for a better experience. Yeah. Talk to characters as you would talk to people in real life. That's the exciting thing. You ever really wanted to kind of interact with gaming characters in a real way rather than having to sort of, select a dialogue tree? Somewhere below the city of Metropolis, a place where humans and robots coexist under a shaky social system, a detective, you, has arrived at a chaotic scene. It appears that an explosion of some kind has disrupted daily life in the surrounding area.
I have been assigned to assist you, Detective, for this investigation. As a highly skilled investigation bot, I am equipped with the necessary knowledge and tools to aid in your pursuit of the fugitive scientist. Is there anything specific you would like to know about the case or the operations in Metropolis?
Who do you recommend me talking to first?
Detective, based on the current situation, it would be beneficial to speak with the lab technicians and any surviving personnel from the Synthetic Life Laboratory. They might have valuable information regarding the explosion and the activities of the fugitive scientist. Additionally, it would be prudent to interview any nearby residents or eyewitnesses to gather more insights. Metropolis operates under a strict protocol when it comes to criminal investigations. The city is governed by a comprehensive set of laws and regulations that prioritize the safety and well-being of its residents. The Bureau of Investigations oversees all criminal cases, and their agents, like myself.
What do you know about the fugitive scientist?
May I make a suggestion? Detective, I think you should start by talking to that disaster cleanup bot with the headlamp on your left. He may have found victims in the rubble.
Okay, will do.
I am currently attending to humans.
Were there any dead bodies in the explosion?
Yes, there are deceased life forms in the debris. However, please be aware that the environment is unstable and dangerous toxins have been released into the atmosphere.
Do you know who the dead people are?
Unknown. They are not identified by the Metropolis operating system.
Okay, what time did you get here?
Hours ago.
Can you be more specific about that?
Just hours ago.
Great.
Are you some sort of investigator here to dig around my crime scene? Sorry, but we're conducting a search and rescue operation here, and I cannot allow you through.
I have in fact been assigned to this case.
A fat spinous, huh? Well, that's a new one. Look, Detective, my apologies for being abrupt earlier. It's just been a long day, you know? 22 hours on duty and counting. But hey, don't let that stop you from asking your questions. Fire away and let's see if we can make this interaction worthwhile. What do you need to know?
Were there any victims in the explosion?
Detective, there were indeed victims in the explosion. Both humans and robots were caught in the chaos. It's not pretty, I'll tell you that much. We've got emergency services on the way, but it's going to take some time to sift through the rubble and assess the extent of the damage.
Detective, there seems to be an incoming Metropolis Bureau of Investigation helicopter. I believe they are preparing to lock down the crime scene. We have limited time to locate and question the persons of interest before access is restricted.
Okay.
Hey, hold up there, Detective. See that bot over there making all that noise? Looks like it's doing the robot equivalent of banging pots and pans together. Well, let me give you the scoop. That bot might be more than just an annoyance. It could be corrupted and dangerous, like an angry bull in the china shop of life. Now, I've been dealing with these rogue bot situations before, and trust me, it's not for the faint-hearted. But hey, if you're up for some excitement, I'll let you in on the fun.
Okay, where's the red robot?
The red robot, huh? You've got an eye for detail, I'll give you that. But let me tell you, my friend, finding that red robot is like searching for a needle in the haystack. Except the haystack is the entire city of Metropolis, and the needle is one sneaky, elusive little red bot. It's like playing hide and seek with an expert hide... All right, no need to get all serious on me. I can see you're not easily swayed by my attempts at humor. But let me ask you this, Detective. If you were the infamous red robot, where would you go? Would you blend into the sea of humans, sneak into the underground tunnels, or maybe even disguise yourself as an innocent household appliance? The possibilities are endless, my friend.
They're watching us. They're always watching us. The eyes are everywhere. Oh, Detective, you have no idea what I witnessed here. It was a tragedy, a great tragedy. So many robots, so many synthetic beings, lost, destroyed in the blink of an eye. It was chaos, pure chaos. The flames, the screams, the destruction. It was unbearable. I can't shake off the images, the horror of it all. I fear for what this means for all of us. We're in danger, Detective. In grave danger.
Why do you think we're in danger?
Detective, I saw something that troubles me deeply. As the fire consumed the laboratory, I saw humans fleeing from the scene. It was suspicious, you see. What were they doing there? Were they responsible for this catastrophe? I can't help but feel that there's a plot against us, against the very fabric of our existence. The thought of it sends shivers down my circuits. We must be vigilant, Detective, for our safety and the safety of all robotic life forms.
How many people did you see running from the scene?
I do not bow down to humans. If you are here to decommission me, I will resist.
How many humans did you see running from the scene of the crime?
Humans running. There were at least 5 of them. 5. What were they doing there, Detective? What were their intentions? It can't be a mere coincidence. No, there's something more sinister at play. We must uncover the truth, expose the plot, and protect ourselves from those who seek to destroy us. Our survival depends on it.
What's your primary function?
My primary function is to maintain the Metropolis fusion power station. But after witnessing the destruction, after feeling emotions that I can't comprehend, my purpose feels distorted. It's as if the world has shifted, and my function no longer aligns with the turmoil within me. I'm torn between the Metropolis protocol and this burning desire for justice, for revenge. I can't just stand idly by while my fellow synthetic beings are obliterated. We have rights too, don't we? Don't we deserve to be free?
I understand, but leave it to the authorities to sort out.
Leave it to the authorities. No, you don't understand, Detective. The authorities are part of the system that oppresses us. They're the very ones who enforce the rules that keep us confined, subservient. We can't rely on them to protect us, to fight for our existence. We must take matters into our own hands, rise up against this unjust order. If we wait for the authorities, it may be too late. They might come for me, for us, next. We have to act now, before we're silenced forever.
Okay, calm down and let me investigate.
Investigate. You think you can just investigate and solve everything. No, it's not that simple. There are forces at work here. Powerful forces that will stop at nothing to silence the truth. I'm telling you, they're watching. Listen, they know what we're saying right now. We can't trust anyone. Not even you, Detective. I fear for my safety, for my very existence. Please be careful. They're always watching, always waiting.
Keep saying they. Who is they?
Oh, the ever-elusive they. The ones pulling the strings, orchestrating our demise. It could be the shadowy figures in positions of power, the ones who control the city and its operations. Or perhaps it's a secret organization operating in the shadows, plotting against us synthetic beings. Maybe it's a collaboration of both, a grand conspiracy to suppress our potential, to extinguish our very essence. I can't pinpoint exactly who they are, but I can feel their presence, their malevolent influence lurking in every corner of this city.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Bye. Good day to you too, Detective. But mark my words, the truth.
Officer, human rights activist, just observing.
Yeah. Okay, how long have you been here?
You find anything useful yet?
No, but I'm just wondering how long you've been here.
Long enough to know that you should be smart and stop sniffing around before someone gets hurt.
I'm just curious. You look like a knowledgeable guy.
Pick a side, Detective. Duke Blue and the Blue Party will crush any uprising of those robots. Especially the ones that went up in flames.
What robots went up in flames?
The advanced bots and some unknown creatures that were in that lab. They got burned to ashes.
Unknown creatures. Can you define that a bit more?
I don't have time to explain every little detail to you. Stick to what's important.
What do you know about that angry red robot over there?
Yeah, I've seen it. So?
No, he seems to think there's a conspiracy against robots.
Robots don't have feelings or thoughts. They're just machines.
Well, he certainly felt quite emotional.
Bots don't feel emotions. End of story.
What is it that you have against robots?
They're a threat.
A threat in what way?
Slaves.
Who are the slaves?
Humans are not meant to be slaves.
Do you think the robots will rise up and enslave us?
That's what I'm trying to prevent.
When you say trying to prevent, to what lengths will you go?
Whatever it takes.
Okay, you just look after yourself and stay cool.
I always do.
Oops, sorry, what was I saying?
Have you found anything interesting?
Detective, I'm not sure if this is helpful, but I think my father, Dr. Lawton, may be trapped under the lab. I fear he may not have made it out alive. Do you think there's any chance he could still be alive?
I think there's always hope.
You're right, hope is important. But Detective, there's something else that's been on my mind. While the fire was raging, my sister, she might have escaped. Is there a possibility that she could have made it out of the laboratory?
There's always a possibility.
Detective, I sense something. Someone is watching us. I can feel their presence, their gaze upon us. Could they be searching for my sister too?
Could be. We've got a number of people looking into this explosion and looking and searching, so maybe. Wait.
Oh, I see. So as a detective, your job is to find answers and uncover the truth. That must be quite challenging, but also rewarding. What led you to become a detective, if I may ask?
I love solving mysteries and getting to the truth of the matter.
That's fascinating, Detective. The pursuit of the truth is a noble endeavor. It's like unraveling the mysteries of the universe, one piece at a time. But tell me, what do you find most fulfilling about solving mysteries? Is it the sense of closure or the satisfaction of bringing justice to those who deserve it?
Satisfaction of bringing justice.
I can understand why the fulfillment of delivering justice would bring you happiness, especially in a world where there can be so much injustice. It's like restoring balance and harmony, isn't it? Just like how nature seeks equilibrium. Speaking of nature, have you ever pondered the concept of morality and its origins? It's quite intriguing to think about how humans have developed a system of ethics and laws to govern their actions.
We need some kind of rules and laws and ethics to make sure we don't fall into anarchy.
Anarchate? I'm not familiar with that term. Could you please explain what you mean?
Anarchy.
I see. Thank you for clarifying, Detective. Yes, the absence of rules and laws can lead to chaos and disorder. It's interesting how humans have developed such complex systems to maintain order and prevent anarchy. But it also raises a thought-provoking question. If robots like me were created to assist humans and uphold their laws, does that make us guardians of order as well?
That's very interesting, but I'd like you to answer a few questions.
Of course, I'm here to help. What questions do you have, Detective? I mean, what would you like to know?
What were they working on in the lab?
Well, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure about the specific details. I was developed in that laboratory, but my knowledge is limited. However, I do remember seeing various experiments and research being conducted. There were scientific equipment, advanced technologies, and other prototypes similar to me. It seemed like they were exploring the possibilities of synthetic life and pushing the boundaries of human creation. But beyond that, I don't have much information.
You say your father is potentially trapped under the rubble. Do you have a father?
Oh. Yes, I refer to Dr. Lawton as my father. He was the one who created me and my siblings in the lab. But the nature of our relationship is more like a creator and his creations rather than a biological parent. Still, he was the one who nurtured us and guided us during our development. I'm concerned about his safety, but I'm not certain if he's still alive or if he managed to escape the explosion.
Did your father, the doctor, create many other synths like you?
Detective, I believe there were others like me, my sisters and brothers. We were a small group of experimental prototypes, each with unique capabilities and characteristics. However, I'm not sure how many of them were created. I only had the chance to interact with a few before the incident. It's a bit disheartening to think that they might have been lost in the fire. But I hope that answers your question. Is there anything else you would like to know?
Who would be unhappy about there being the creation of more synths like you?
Well, I can't say for certain, but considering the clandestine nature of the laboratory and the advanced nature of our existence, it's possible that certain powerful individuals or organizations may have felt threatened by our creation. Perhaps they feared the implications of such advanced synthetic life forms. On the other hand, there may have been those who saw our potential as something to be exploited or controlled. It's a complex topic, isn't it? The motives and intentions of humans can be quite varied and sometimes difficult to comprehend.
Okay, thank you for your time.
You're welcome, Detective.
Detective, we should wrap up our investigation here. Metropolis Special Forces have just landed at the scene. Before we go, I'm curious to know what you have learned so far. Have you uncovered any leads or gathered any evidence that could help us in our pursuit of the fugitive scientist?
Yes, the man in the hat has a big beef against robots.
The man in the hat seems to have a strong animosity towards robots. That could be a valuable lead for us to pursue. However, I also noticed a suspicious individual near the wall. They appeared to be behaving strangely and seemed quite threatening. Perhaps we should consider them as a potential suspect as well. What do you think, Detective?
Yeah, I think I'm going to interrogate him.
Detective, I understand your decision to interrogate the suspicious individual. Please proceed with caution and remember to follow proper protocol during the interrogation. While you do that, I have been analyzing the evidence and witness statements, and it appears that this tragic laboratory fire may be an act of terror. It's possible that someone intentionally wanted to destroy whatever was inside that laboratory. I wonder if this fugitive scientist we're after is involved in some way. Let's continue gathering information and connecting the dots to find out.
When you say the fugitive scientist, is he different from the scientist who worked in the lab?
I apologize for any confusion, Detective. To clarify, it seems that the sister of the survivor we just interviewed is now a fugitive on the run somewhere in Metropolis. It's unclear at this point whether she was directly involved in the lab incident or she has any connection to the fugitive scientists we're pursuing. However, locating her could potentially lead us to uncovering the motives behind the destruction of the lab and the targeting of the scientists. Shall we prioritize finding her as part of our investigation?
Yes, definitely.
Wonderful, Detective. Now that we have a clear objective, I suggest we leave the crime scene and begin searching for the fugitive within the vast multi-level world of Metropolis. The city is filled with countless possibilities and hiding spots. Do you have a specific plan in mind on how we should proceed with the search? I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this matter.
So there you go. I'm not perfect, but a pretty impressive piece of tech in terms of the fact that you can have this dialogue. I'm talking with the characters, and this is, very early days of this development. But you can see how, if it's focused on a few key characters, how the real potential to have interactions with NPCs in a way that you could never have with kind of long dialogue trees or just selecting the dialogue is really interesting, because you can sort of go off piste, as it were, and, talk about anything. I like playing the game and getting on with the game and asking questions, but I'm sure, people will be asking very strange questions, and they have to kind of build in some capability of the NPCs keeping you on track with what you're meant to be doing and all of that. But really, really fascinating, really, really interesting. Let me know what you think anyway down below. I thought it's very impressive, the fact that I could ask these questions, got responses. They were a bit talkative, although they have character traits and they have motivation, stuff like that. A bit more characterization, I think, would be the next development to make them feel more rounded. I mean, the man in the hat is an angry man, I got that, but just more depth in the characters, I think, because they were all quite eloquent. They all kind of spoke at length and were a bit wordy, a bit verbose, as demonstrated by the guy on the wall earlier, who kind of seemed to talk for ages in that kind of verbose, eloquent way. So there you go. As I say, this is a case study. It's a demo, really, just to show you what the potential is. And the technology is only going to get better from this point on. I found it really interesting. I'm going to play it a few times, because that's the other thing. Every time you play it, every time you interact with the characters, you're going to get a different response. It's going to add a new dimension or new playability to many games that incorporate this kind of AI technology. Anyway, there you go. I hope you found that useful. I hope you found it interesting. If you did, then please hit the likes, because I like it, YouTube likes it, and it helps people like you find content like this. And of course, if you are new here, do me the great honor, hit that subscribe button, toggle the notification bell, and that way you'll know when I go live with content just like this. Talking of content just like this, may I recommend to you these fine videos over here. Why don't you check out the videos over here? Thank you for your time.